maybe this year we should have let the Premier League teams come in to the fourth round of the FA Cup rather than the third round. Maybe this year we should have asked the Champions League to reduce their games from two-legged knockouts to one-legged knockouts. Why is it the League Cup that has to be compromised? The EFL Cup, the divisions that need the money, that get the revenue from it, the football pyramid that is decimated by finances, why is it this cup that gets to suffer? And
what is it going to suffer, though? How would it suffer?
At
this stage in the proceedings, take the one of the semi-final fixtures, i.e. Liverpool Arsenal, to a neutral ground and just play it.
Because the framework of the tournament has been set up in such a way that this is the way the tournament establishes itself. Now, we also know that what happens with situations like this is the moment you set a precedent, you give other people an opportunity to change the dimensions of something that they don't particularly want to participate in the first place. We know what's going on behind the scenes, which is there's an argument, because Ralph Rangnick, who just got his work permit, popped up with that particular argument after 5 minutes of being here, suggesting that the cup that we're in, the third cup in this country, should be removed. I.e., like the other countries have done in Italy and Spain, where their second domestic cup has been taken away. The difference between that cup, their cups, and our cup is that our cup has far more tradition, far more value, far more support. We're a far better pyramid, a far better domestic landscape than all of them put together. So I don't think we should be comparing and contrasting what happens in other leagues. So my worry is when you start making decisions that suit other people's agendas, the longer game is the EFL gets compromised. And then the next thing that gets compromised is the FA Cup. And
well, would it necessarily lead to that? I mean, this is an unprecedented time. Look at it. Liverpool saying, postpone this tie. Postpone it. Linder's standing in for Klopp, but can't even make the presser today.
But with respect, Jim, Liverpool buggered off to a tournament last year and put out their under-23 coach. So can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Orient had a cup tie, called off because of COVID, and they couldn't get it re-established and lost $100 grand worth of TV revenue.
True.
So if Liverpool, with due respect to them, have got players available to play in this game and they don't meet the criteria for getting this game called off, tough luck their manager's not available, and tough luck Pep Lijnders isn't available, because last year they put an under-23 coach in there. Don't fancy it this time, because it's a semi-final.
You know, Simon's got a point though, Trevor. Other clubs get on with it. Aston Villa, if you remember, didn't have the option to postpone their FA Cup tie against Liverpool, and they were forced to field an academy side. This was last January, following a COVID outbreak in the squad. The likes of Louis Barry scored for Villa that night. They put up a valiant display, but they went out 4-1.
Good.
But they played the tie.
Yeah, but how much of that suffering has benefited them young players? I think it's a great opportunity. Listen, if Liverpool have not got enough first team players, put the young lads in, because even though you might not win the tie, you'll win in the long term, because them players playing against Premier League footballers, playing in such an important game, will be benefiting so much from that experience.
And with a two-legged tournament, you've still got an opportunity to rebalance it.
You're still in it.
You're still in it.
Yeah. So you would say, Simon, don't talk about postponing it. Play it.
I just think that everything begins and ends with the Premier League and the Champions League and the European leagues, because that's where all the money is. Something has to hold the higher water, hold the higher ground. So why does the EFL Cup have to be compromised? You know why? Because it's the runt of the litter. Why don't they get rid of the Charity Shield at the beginning of the season then, if that was a game that people didn't need to play? Because it's a meaningless game. Why don't they do things of that nature? Why do we allow World Cup to be played in November? I mean, all this sort of stuff.
But again, though, the word I would use is unprecedented. These are unprecedented times. It's not going to ruin the Carabao Cup.
It's how you respond to those unprecedented times, which is the outcome you're looking for. You've got availability to put young kids in. You just don't want to. You know, there are special dispensations being allowed that they can pull players from different parts of their setup they weren't able to do before, to acknowledge the unprecedented times that we're in.
Correct.
Get on with playing the bloody fixtures.
So that even with the final next month,
and
the possible reshuffling of two ties here, you still say, it's doable.
But we've moved the argument on now. Last week it was player welfare, right, which everyone fell off their chair laughing at in the public domain. And now it's because they haven't got their managers available. Oh, come on. Play the game. We're going to do. Spurs and Chelsea available to play. Right, so you've got to tell them that they play one leg.
Yeah, it's too late.
And you play one leg because Liverpool and Arsenal can't play this leg. Does that work then?
No.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with integrity, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but like Simon just said, you've got the second leg to always try and get back into the game. So even if you've got 7, 8 first team players, you can bump that with a few kids in there. I'm sure they're going to be decent. You know, I'd like to think that they've got a fantastic academy at Melwood. They'll be able to bring some young players in who can do a job. They're not going to lose the game 7-8-0. They'll always have a chance to get back into it in the second leg.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.